Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, call us MTV in the 2000s, because we're making the band, baby. In Medoro Swamp, find a handy glove, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society finds a handy glove with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I'm joined, as I am always joined, by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. Mark, how's it going?
Oh, it's going so great, and part of the reason it's going so great is we have an awesome guest with us today.
We do, in fact. We are joined today by our good friend and host of the Tabletop Tunes podcast, Greg Smith is here.
Oh, thank you. I'm so proud to be part of the reason you're having a good day.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this.
That makes me feel very, very warm.
I would say, Greg, you're the sole reason I'm having a good day.
Everything else is bad?
Everything else has led toward it being a bad day.
Oh, and there you go, flipping
But then you
the
turned it
scripts.
around.
Optimist,
Yeah,
optimist.
Greg was like the dam of a bad day.
I
Right?
was,
He's
right.
like
He was
using
holding
his
back
body
yes.
to hold back the bad day.
and I was installed by Herbert Hoover as part of an attempt to mitigate the effects of the Great Depression.
Oh.
So we have you to thank for a lot of things.
Thank
then
you
it sounds
so
like.
much. Thank you.
That's
I'm very
usually-
tired.
It's usually how I refer to a bad day as the Great Depression.
If every day's great.
Right. Then what are you going to... Well, every day can be a great... Now that's kind of a contradiction there, isn't it? A great day or a Great Depression.
Oh. Well, it depends how you're using the word great, because great can just mean a wild or a big amount of, I suppose. So if there's a Great Depression, that would be a great day, insofar as...
A greatly depressing day.
Maybe you need greatly.
Yeah, that's probably right. That is interesting, right? That both great and greatly could act as the adverb. Is this interesting?
I find it interesting.
I'm thinking about it.
No, you're
Anytime
not.
I sort of find something interesting on mic, there's a part of me that goes, no one else finds this interesting.
Yeah,
right?
You'll find that I ignore that. If you would like to support us, you can head on over to Patreon, patreon.com/Nintendo Cartridge Society, where if you are supporting us at the 8-bit or 16-bit levels, you get access to our once-a-month episodes of miniseries, like the upcoming NCS at the movies.
Yeah, and NCS at the movies is starting probably this weekend with Superman, the new James Gunn version. We're going to see that.
Yep.
And talking about it with a special guest. And you can look forward to that. Every month we'll be seeing movies. We'll be talking about movies. That'll be a lot of fun. But if you're supporting us at the 8 and 16-bit level, you can also go back and listen to the other miniseries we've done, like NCS Arcade,
NCS Detective Club,
NCS Goes Broadway.
and that's it.
That's it.
Just those miniseries. And if you follow us for free on Patreon, we occasionally put stuff out at the free level as well. So go check that out. Special thank you to new patron Chris Peters. And we appreciate you. We appreciate everyone who's supporting us over on Patreon or listening or interacting with us in any way. The other way you could be interacting with us is, of course, in Discord. If you would like an invitation to the Discord, email us, Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com. And I will send you an invitation. Greg, before we jump into the task at hand, where we are making our own bands out of Nintendo characters, I want to hear a little more about Tabletop Tunes.
Oh, sure. Thank you. Tabletop Tunes is a podcast I co-host alongside the geniuses Mary Lou, Gabe Greenspan, and Sean Mayer. It is a combination of musical improv and RPG tabletop type games, like a Dungeons and Dragons, if you will, where we have on a guest and we pick a different DM every episode and we lead that guest through a musical, improvised RPG. They're all self-contained episodes. You can jump in wherever the heck you want. I'm also playing piano while I'm improvising, while I'm singing, while I'm sometimes DMing.
crazy.
Greg,
It's
while you're
pretty
DMing?
nuts. It's pretty nuts. It's been some of the most fun I've had in a while. Give it a listen wherever you get your dang podcasts.
Greg, I didn't know that you were doing this, and now I'm very excited to listen to it.
I love that.
Mark, you don't have to say anything.
I didn't know you were doing it either.
Okay,
and
great.
I also am very excited.
Thank you.
Just another reason why you're like being a dam-like structure
Yes.
for an otherwise greatly depressing day.
Have you been thinking about dams a lot lately, or where's this coming from?
I don't know.
They're pretty cool.
I don't
They
know.
are cool.
And I genuinely wish I could explain why it's top of mind for me right now.
What about beavers? How do they know to do that? All right, great.
Keep that pause in. If you cut out
Oh,
one second of that
I'm not gonna
pause,
cut out anything.
I'm getting in that Discord. I'm raising a ruckus.
All right, so no one knows why beavers know how to do that.
I don't know biology. I don't
Oh,
know
okay.
evolution.
That's a non-answer.
Well, why are you getting confrontational with me?
Because I just bombed.
And your impulse is to attack.
Of course. All right. Well, let's get into it. Let's build some bands. Okay, so we are doing this because Donkey Kong Bonanza is the debut now of a not an old character, but like a new form of a musical character. Pauline, now a preteen, has a dream of making music, singing songs, and so we thought, let's take the musicians that we know from within the Nintendo canon and build some bands.
Yeah, that's right. And so we are each going to be constructing our own band out of Nintendo characters, draft style. So once a character gets taken off the board, it can't be used by anybody else.
That's right. And the idea here is that a character must have demonstrated the ability that we're going to ascribe to them at some point in... So what? Mark is laughing.
No,
I'm so excited.
I am laughing because this was so hard for me, and I did such a bad job.
Great.
So we're gonna it's gonna be, yeah. We'll see how it goes.
Well, and what does it mean to actually demonstrate the ability, right?
Oh, I'm gonna argue that.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
Point
Perfect,
for sure.
Great. So each band is going to have 5 members, and I just wanted to float for a second. Like 5 is okay. We don't want to like broaden it or shrink it. Like we're happy with 5 members.
I love 5.
Yeah, I think 5 is
Okay.
great.
5 members. Once a character is recruited, they're no longer available. Any other like caveats or like anything we want to bring up that could be a question as we proceed on with this?
Are variants different characters, i.e., Mario, Dr. Mario, Samus, Zero Suit Samus?
So I go ahead, Mark. if you
Oh,
have a
I was
thought.
just gonna say, if you could make a good argument for why it should be like a specific variant, then
Right, but does that
does that take Mario off the board if Dr. Mario is used?
right?
I would say no.
That's where I lean as well. I don't know why, though, because they are the same person, right?
They are, well, Mario and Dr. Mario, I think that's an open question, right?
If it's the same,
If they're the same person.
Wow.
Oh, really? I think it's not controversial
You think
to
it's
say
settled
that
to say that
they're
they're
the
the
same person.
that
I'm
Yeah.
Mario-
interested in the ambiguity, though. That sounds like a true crime podcast spinoff for y'all to do.
Yeah, it's like Dead Ringers.
Yeah.
the Cronenberg movie.
It is like Dead Ringers, the Cronenberg movie. Shout out Jeremy Irons.
Okay, but what about like various links, right? Like Link exists on like this seemingly
Sure.
Young
continuous
Link,
timeline.
Teen Link, Toon Link.
Well, and even beyond that, like Twilight Princess Link versus like Link to the Past Link. They're like canonically different people, but I kind of want to say like they're the same guy.
I think where I stand on it is that I agree with you in principle.
Yes.
But then if somebody has a reason why they really want, like, okay, Samus is off the board, but here's my argument why Dark Samus should still be considered a separate
Right.
character, I'm willing to hear it.
Okay. Well, and Dark Samus specifically actually is a separate entity
We'll
formed
see,
by
there we
the
go.
Aeon, whatever. Ether, what is it in Prime 2?
Oh, I can't remember what it's called.
Well, we'll figure it out as we go, or we won't. Okay, great. So there's some ambiguity here, and
I
we will
love it.
continue to deal
I'm
with
so
that.
excited.
So we are going to be recruiting characters who are Nintendo characters or Nintendo adjacent, if we can craft a compelling enough argument to say that they, well, I played this game on my Super NES, so therefore I can recruit whoever I want from
Sure.
Chrono Trigger, right? Like that's okay. Anything else? I guess the only other question I had, and I did not recruit or I did not make my power ranking with this in mind, but I assume no real people in our bands.
So, like, if I played Shaq Fu on the Super Nintendo,
For example.
I can't have Shaquille O'Neal be my lead MC.
Right.
No, I disagree with that.
Mark thinks real people, yes.
I also think real people.
I think
Okay,
if a real person, if you can argue, like if
they're
a
in
real
a
person,
Nintendo
if
video
they're
game?
in a Nintendo video game, like
Okay.
yeah, I'm super into it.
John Madden on the bass. Let's go.
All right. Well, I'm just going to add something to my list then. All right. Well, so we will do this a draft style. And
Is it a snake
we'll
draft?
do a snake draft.
Yeah, that
yes.
seems most
like
fair.
Solid Snake, Nintendo.
Yes. Just like Solid Snake, Liquid Snake, or Solidus Snake.
Solidist Snake?
Solidus. There's
Solidist?
Solid. No T at the end.
I'm being silly.
I know.
I'm having a little fun with Patrick
That's
and
I love when we're having fun.
Mark. Me too. Why do beavers know how to make dams, though?
So I propose that we should do something to determine the draft order. I don't know what that is.
Why don't we just I will pull a random number generator
Okay.
and
We will assign ourselves numbers 1 through 3. Greg, you'll be 1.
I love it.
I'll be 2. Mark will be 3. Mark,
Okay.
you'll do a random number generator.
I'm
1 through
generating
3. This will be
now.
the first picker.
1.
That's me, baby.
Greg goes first.
Okay.
And then Mark, between you and I, you want to just rock, paper, scissors for it?
Oh, sure.
You-
Yeah, we can do that. I was just gonna give it to you, like
Oh.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, great.
And then
3,
2,
2,
1.
1. Yes.
1, 2, 3, 3, 2,
Yeah.
1. Over
Great.
and over.
Yes.
Okay. Well, perfect. Let's get started then, and let's start drafting some. I guess the one last thing is that we should all be drafting towards a band that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Like you should probably have a front man of some kind. Probably have a percussionist, or if you're building towards something different, like that's okay too. But like the band should make sense.
Yeah, I have a very specific thing in mind.
Okay,
So,
great.
Yeah.
Too.
Very good. All right, Greg, with your first pick.
I'm really stoked I got the first pick because I am going to take who I would imagine is a pretty big player off the board. Player is a pun that I intend. But first, I will start with my macro goal. And that
okay.
is that I'm
Proceeding with intention from the beginning, stating the goal.
always
I'm planning to do the same thing. so-
wonderful.
Very good.
I like that we're all being intentional with each other as we build our bands from Nintendo characters. I don't know who that guy is. I'm building a late 90s, early 2000s style new metal band.
Oh, love this.
Very cool.
A Limp Bizkit, a Korn, a Rage Against the Machine, an Evanescence. And Evanescence is kind of the shining North Star for what I'm going for,
I
or a
love
Linkin
this.
Park, perhaps. And so I'm starting with a hybrid musician on guitar and on what I would call dirty or rap vocals,
Mm.
KK Slider.
Oh, very good.
Oh, KK Slider was among my like possible like frontmen.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
like need to have him. KK Slider also moonlights as DJ KK.
That's something I didn't know, and that makes this whole enterprise even more exciting.
I mean, this is a versatile little dog.
You can
Yes.
guitar, DJ, and kind of like kind of rap a little bit.
Mhm. Plus, he'll whistle or howl
He sure will.
in a song.
And he'll go like, and I love that. There's the specific reason I'm picking him is the sort of rap / guitarist. I don't know if y'all have gone down YouTube rabbit holes of KK Slider covering popular music.
Oh yes. Oh, absolutely.
One of my favorites is Sicko Mode by Travis Scott featuring Drake, where he kind of like, "Mo me ma, mo me ma, mo me ma, ma, ma," and he goes, as an ad lib, and it's the coolest,
That's so
dopest thing
cool.
I've ever heard.
Well,
I'm
and
very excited to have him.
KK Slider is also just an impossibly cool
He's very cool.
Oh,
character.
yeah.
Like as we are recruiting here, it's so many Nintendo characters are like pretty dorky.
Yeah,
And KK Slider is just profoundly not that. Like
he's very cool.
he's charisma incarnate. He doesn't have to wear clothes. Everyone else has to wear clothes.
Oh yeah.
Think how like the entire end game of New Horizons is built around getting him on your island.
Yeah,
It's just like that's what you want, and as soon as it happens, credits roll. You've done it.
right.
Pat yourself on the back.
And that's just getting him to visit once a week
Yeah.
for like 2 hours on a Sunday.
I'm very proud and happy of my number one pick.
Yeah, that is a good.
KK Slider, guitar
very
vocalist,
good.
DJ.
That's very cool. I guess then I will also state my intention.
If you want to, or you can keep it a secret and we can try to guess at the end.
That's fun too.
Okay. All right. We'll do that.
We're backing Patrick into a corner.
You are backing me into a corner.
you don't.
You
you
feel
don't,
teamed
no,
up by
you really
now.
don't have
How
to.
do beavers know how to do that? Okay. My first pick, I'm also going to go frontman first because I think they are few and far between here.
I do just want to note for the record, KK Slider's not my front man. Keep
Oh,
going.
you're right. He's your dirty vocals. He's your dirty vocals. You still have to recruit your Amy Lee.
I sure do. Don't you worry.
I am recruiting Cass.
Oh my gosh, this is devastating to me. I have backups for everybody
Except Cass. Cass is, of course, the Rito balladeer from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. He sings ancient songs and plays a sort of like concertina accordion
cool.
thing. And is just like the keeper of like vast, deep lore about everything. Is like the king of sort of like archaic folk music within the world of Breath of the Wild. And so I'm going to take him as both singer and, rocking that concertina thing.
That feels very like Go-Go Bordello or like gypsy punk kind of.
Yeah, well, so that
That's my guess so
I won't
far.
state
Okay,
further,
yeah,
yes.
that's good. I mean, Cass, another great first round pick. Like, very good.
I thought he would go early, Mark. I'm sorry to have sniped him out
no,
from under you.
it's okay.
I really like the lore that he would bring, maybe as your lyricist. Feels like he could
Yes.
craft some sort of almost Zeppelin-esque, like
Oh,
Tolkien,
yeah,
like,
totally.
weird arcane.
Yeah, there's a slightly different point of reference that I have in mind that I'm thinking about, but I will.
I'm almost thinking like the Decemberists,
Exactly,
where it's
Okay, so I will. I'll
Within
just
a
I'll just go. I'll just go a little
song,
bit. Yeah. So a little bit Decemberisty, a little Andrew Birdy, a
Okay,
little bit
yeah.
like Sufjan Stevensy,
Yeah.
where it's
Oh,
like
yes.
we're evoking sort of like folk stuff, but also with some other picks, I'm going to be leaning into a little bit more like future-y sounds.
Fun,
Yeah,
fun.
a little bit more techno from there. But Mark,
All right,
you now have your
You
first
get
pick.
2 in a row.
Okay, that's right. All right. Well, to set the stage a little bit, what I'm imagining is that it's the 1960s, right?
Flower power. Hate Ashbury.
The
British invasion.
The British invasion, right? The Beatles are the hot thing.
The Hoover Dam has been around for
The Hoover
20-ish
Dam-
years.
The Hoover Dam, God bless it, has been around for 20 some odd years.
Great Depression in the rearview mirror,
Yeah,
baby.
baby.
Yeah, greatly depressing as it may have been. And I'm a music producer in the 1960s,
Cool.
and I need to build like a British invasion-y band,
You
right?
Okay,
I need to
yes.
build
You got to compete.
I need to build a Beatles knockoff. All right, so I'm taking the archetype of the Beatles +1, and because I'm doing it better, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
And
that's
they were always better with Billy Preston, of course.
Yes, they were on the keys.
so that's what I'm building towards is a knockoff British invasion Beatles-esque
Love this. Yes.
band built out of Nintendo characters.
And I just want to remind you
Yeah.
that if we're doing real live people that have been in games on Nintendo platforms, the Beatles rock band was on Wii.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
wow.
That's right. That's right. I don't have any Beatles on
Good. It's
my
too easy.
list.
It's too easy. Right.
But it's good to know if I really need a backup.
Right. That
That's
you
so
can
funny.
you can throw Paul McCartney
Then I
on
can
there
throw
if you
Paul
want.
McCartney on there. All right. Well, I'm gonna start with one that I think may be a little controversial. So I'm gonna get it out there, and we can hash it out. I'm open to the discussion because is this entity a musician? Not so much. So this is, I'm gonna say, an avant-garde choice.
Entity?
And this is an avant-garde choice.
Okay.
And I'm going with Gigas from Earthbound
Okay.
as my John Lennon. So I'm thinking rebellious, philosophical,
Mm.
outspoken, with a sharp intellect.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking,
And also like outright evil and like a force of chaos in
look,
the universe?
that is a role that Gigas plays,
All right.
but it doesn't mean that that's the role he has to play in this band.
Okay.
I think maybe the more thoughtful parts of Gigas,
Does he play an instrument?
he doesn't as such,
Oh.
right? But my thinking is that Gigas can manipulate minds. And so if he wanted to play an instrument, or at least make you think he was playing an instrument, he could do that. Right? At a concert, he could.
He could
All right.
make a mass hallucination.
Yeah.
Where he's singing or playing an instrument.
Yeah.
Can that work on a record?
That's a great question.
Yeah, but I'm putting together more of like a, live
Like
act.
a live performance.
You're going to be the opposite of the Beatles, because the Beatles famously stopped touring to
Right.
just record.
Yeah, we're gonna do it better than them.
You're just going to tour and never record.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
You sensed an opportunity in the market and you closed on it.
So
Look,
I
yeah.
do think that there is absolutely room in any band for there to be like the vibe guy, right?
Right, yeah.
To have a Flava Flav, to have your Mighty Mighty Boss Tones guy that just skanks around while the rest of the band plays.
Yeah.
Like I think that's a role that someone can inhabit. I think it's a weird first pick in a draft. Especially someone whose vibes are so bad. But
Well, I have a backup.
Okay. You can
I'm-
recruit him if that's
I'm
what you
open
want.
to feedback
I'm not
here,
gonna fight
okay?
it.
Yeah.
I'm open to feedback here. I'm trying to build the best band, and I realize that,
Right.
as a non-musician myself, that I might need a little feedback. I'm open to it. My backup is Pearl from Splatoon 2. I think she has a little bit of the attitude of a Lennon, to be that kind of like front person.
Yes.
And the
for-
Inklings do play instruments. I don't know if she does specifically, but a lot of them do.
Well, and Pearl is one of the two idols from Splatoon 2, right?
Right.
So she definitely has performance experience, and it's unclear to me if they're like singing or rapping canonically within Splatoon, but like either one of those would be more musically useful than the like cries of like an unbirthed entity in the universe or whatever Gigas is.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of hear what you're saying, because at least with Pearl, you'd be able to record music, which is
would.
not
Yeah.
exactly what I'm going for, like I've said.
Right.
But
I
could
say-
see how it'd be helpful as like a backup plan.
My thing, though, is that if you're going for the Beatles, I don't think Pearl reads the Beatles. When I think Pearl, I think like pop punk.
Yeah.
If I'm picturing the right
Yeah.
person in my
You
head.
are, little like troll type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Gigas makes me think of the Beatles either, frankly,
But
but
imagine like
it's closer.
Do you want to just recruit Paul McCartney?
No, I might need to save that. Yeah, Paul record. Yeah, that would be good.
Your John Lennon is Paul McCartney.
John Lennon is Paul McCartney. Now I'm going with Gigas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gigas
love it.
is
Yeah,
Gigas
go
is my
with your
John.
gut. Go with your
Yeah.
gut.
Now I'm next. I'm gonna recruit my.
And I'm sorry, just one more time.
Yeah.
What is his role in the band is?
His role in the band is to be the like intellectual one.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
But
like-
musically, what is he
Oh,
when
sure,
he mass
sure,
hallucinates people?
Sure. Yeah, when he mass hallucinates people, he's probably on guitar.
Great.
Is what I'm imagining.
All right,
John
cool.
Lennon?
He's writing some songs.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. He has lots of ideas, Gigas.
Mhm.
Sure,
and
right.
maybe music therapy would be helpful to him
I
to be able
love that.
to channel that energy
Mm.
into music. I think I've justified it
You
enough.
have, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Gigas.
Move on to the next one. You'll have to justify.
Yeah. Next, I'm gonna do my like Ringo, right? Affable, the social glue of the band. Somebody who's gonna have to work around Gigas's sharp edges, such
Sure.
as they were.
May or may not drum. Maybe a material.
No, in this case, I feel pretty good about his drumming abilities, or at least his bongo abilities, because I'm going with Donkey Kong.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, that's
Yep,
really
good
smart.
pick.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Donkey Kong's going to be my Ringo-esque.
He is kind of a Ringo Donkey Kong, especially in the new design when he seems a little sillier.
Yeah, he does seem sillier, less angry.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that so far you have recruited two like non-verbal characters.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Gigas maybe doesn't like talk directly, but again, can
It's like
project
telepathic.
any
Yeah.
like thought into your mind. And Donkey Kong,
I guess he could even make it look like Donkey Kong is singing.
Yeah, I guess he could.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, Gigas. Look, I'm not gonna pat myself on the back too hard, but kind of a genius pick. 'Cause he can do anything he wants to do.
I'm
Yeah.
worried about the power going to his head. I'm worried that he'll go rogue.
Gigas.
Yeah.
That is a concern. But
That's-
that's why you got Donkey Kong there.
I have a
He's
question,
that, like,
though.
social glue, please.
Will Donkey Kong just play the bongos, or will you try to like, here's a drum set, here's other percussion?
Yeah, I'm imagining that his skill set extends beyond the bongos.
I would imagine so as
And
well.
even if he can't like control a full drum set, I feel like he would be helpful on the maracas
Mhm.
or like a tambourine or something like that. So I think he has utility. But a
Yeah.
lot of it is just he's good for the group.
Yeah, he is.
He also no, okay, so it is just bongos also in Donkey Kong 64. I was checking because they all have instruments in
Right.
Donkey Kong 64, but so that's the same as his ability, obviously, from Donkey Konga,
Yeah,
which I assume is where you're.
right,
yeah.
right. Yeah, I'm imagining he like specializes in the bongos, and that's probably maybe his strongest instrument. But I think he can hang everywhere else if he needs to, percussion wise.
Yeah, he seems versatile.
Yeah.
If nothing else, he's got like the stamina to like,
And the reach.
yeah, to keep up with it. Okay,
He's got the reach. If those bongos are a little far away, he's getting them.
he's getting them. He's getting them all. He could probably play two bongos at once
What the heck?
because he's got those feet
He's
that
got
are like
4.
hands.
He could play 4 at once. It would just be one hit, but
But it'd be good.
it'd be good.
All right, Mark, you've got Gigas and Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong was on my list of possible drummers.
Mine as well.
Here's okay. I'm now on to my second pick.
Yeah.
I am going to honestly take a page from the Mark Mitchell book, and I'm going to recruit a musician who is maybe not an entity necessarily, but a strange bionic bug creature, who is has the ability to control minds. I'm referring, of course, to the Groovy Longlegs from the Pikmin series. Are you all familiar with Groovy Longlegs?
I'm not.
Groovy Longlegs is a android spider thing that is also a disco ball and a set of speakers that plays distorted weird bass lines and this like drum track that moves
Cool.
in time with its like footsteps.
Classic triple
So
threat.
he kind of is the instrument.
He sort of is he's the instrument and the player in one.
Wow.
Yes. So this is definitely going to give a more of like a fuzzed out electronica vibe. But like that's going to be the heart of my rhythm section. And so if we need to be going fast or whatever, then the Groovy Longlegs just like picks up the pace as it's like walking around the stage. The thing that I need your help with in Pikmin, of course, you're playing as one of these little guys. The Groovy Longlegs appears to be enormous, right? But like to a human, to like you or I, the Groovy Longlegs is maybe like 3 inches tall.
Okay.
So, can I have a giant Groovy Longlegs that like is to us what
see.
it would appear to be to
My
Olaf?
answer.
No, sorry. I was just painting a picture in my own mind to help me decide, like
Mhm,
wandering in front of Wayne Zelinsky's blow up machine from Honey, I Blew Up the Kid.
Of course, the sequel.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes,
But I guess at a correctly calibrated.
right, to make us all proportionately Olimar sized.
No, I'm thinking the sequel. So, like, you would use the ray to
Oh, I
blow
see.
up
The Groovy Longlegs.
the Groovy Long Leg, but
Right.
you don't want him to be, like, towering over Las Vegas,
No, right. So I
home
would
to the Hoover Dam.
if if Olimar were like 5 or 6 feet tall,
Yeah.
right? I would say the Groovy Longlegs is probably 30, 40 feet tall. Like
Is
just,
that how tall you want it to be, or you want it to
I
be, like,
want it to
6
be
feet tall?
huge. I
Okay.
want it to be a thing that takes up the entire like back of the stage. Like
My answer
King
is no,
Kong
you
style.
cannot do that. But
Can I have him be like 6 feet tall? 8 feet tall.
no, of course not. You can't make him a different.
Why
height.
not?
You can plug him into an amplifier.
Oh, that's a
Okay,
good
all right.
compromise.
Well, I can mic him up. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can have, like, a camera, like,
Sure.
zoomed in on him. So, and you could project him on a 30-foot screen.
Yes, you can.
Okay, great. Okay, then that's I'm doing that. I'm a little bummed that I don't have my enormous Groovy Longlegs.
You can't bring in the mythology from science fiction comedy Honey, I Blew Up the Kid to get you your Nintendo band.
Now, what if I instead wanted to bring in the technology from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and just do that to everyone else?
The entire world?
The entire world.
Just so you can have something that seems a little bigger?
I mean, quite a bit bigger.
No, that's absurd, Patrick.
All right. Groovy Longlegs on my list.
So your band so far is Cass.
Mm-hmm.
And did you say, so Cass is the lead,
Yeah,
and Groovy Longlegs is...
is like my rhythm section.
Okay,
yeah.
got it, yeah.
So
Greg?
now I get 2 in a row?
Now you get 2 in a row.
My pick's 2 and 3. So far, I've got KK Slider on guitar, DJ, rapped vocals. Now I do need my Amy Lee, as you said before.
Yes.
And I think when we talk about music, we often talk about like excess, more. I want more things. I think that less is more. And I think there is power, especially if you're trying to make hits on the radio, and a manager can speak to that perspective. And that's why for my clean vocalist / front woman, I'm picking Jigglypuff.
Oh, this is very good. So a sort of like dreamy
Yes.
vocal
She
stylings.
like glides
Yes.
and floats over the music. It's a very nice, airy, soaring counterpoint to the sort of aggression of a lot of the aesthetic of the band.
Yes.
And the only word she can sing is Jigglypuff.
Pretty good.
And
Means
that
you don't
means
have to-
everything's a hit.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
don't have to write any lyrics.
Everyone's going to know every song. They'll sing along. They might fall asleep while listening to it.
Well, this is a question I had about this is, does Jigglypuff have the ability to, like, sing and not make people fall asleep? Like, is it a choice?
I
It's
don't
like, this is an
know.
attack. I am choosing
Oh, yeah, that's
to
interesting.
sing with, like, my power of hypnosis turned on. But if I just want to sing, like, in the shower or something, I can do that without hypnotizing anybody nearby.
I feel like I've seen her just sing before in media, in something.
I think so too. I would also, much like the Gigas question, I feel like the hypnosis powers really only work in person, right? So I think like a recording of a
Right.
Jigglypuff.
Oh,
And I am
sure,
trying to
yeah.
make records.
You are trying to make records. Yes, absolutely.
And I
Very
want-
cleanly produced, I have to
Oh,
imagine.
yes. So yeah, Jigglypuff will be my clean vocalist front woman.
I like this. It's less Amy Lee and almost more Enya.
It is very Enya.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love that. What is that song called? Orinoco
Orinoco
Flow?
Flow, yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, I love that. I love Jigglypuff on that track. Jigglypuff, Jigglypuff, Jigglypuff. Bloom, bloom. Malt me, malt me, malt.
All right, good. Greg, your band is really shaping up.
It's really shaping up to something, all right.
You're shaping up the sort of like front end. I'm very curious to hear where you go to like round out the rhythm section, because I think you have some very specific needs in that department.
I do. That's interesting. Let's fill out the low end a little bit. Let's go on bass guitar. And I'm going to pull a pretty deep cut. And this was made hip to me, and I was telling you all this off mic, thanks to a video I watched where a very personable woman, a vlogger, I forget her name, I apologize, made a video called, like, which of the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate characters play instruments?
Perfect.
And she showed a screenshot from the end of stage 9 of a Tetris game on Nintendo. And I can pull it up if you wish to see it.
I believe you.
You believe me?
Mm-hmm.
And in that screenshot, you see Samus Aran playing the bass.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's
And-
that's such a good deep cut. That screenshot is incredible, by the way.
You've seen it.
Yes,
Yes.
that it's got like all these other 8-bit Nintendo characters,
Yes.
like all just kind of around the screen, and they're all like unique sprites. Like you've never seen this sprite of Samus before.
No, she looks weird.
she does look weird. Yes.
And Pitt is playing the violin in it as well. So Samus is going to be on bass. In the screenshot, she's playing like an orchestral double bass with a bow.
Mm-hmm.
I think if she messed around with that, that could make some cool, again, more like Enya new metal sounds. But I also think if you know how to play the concert double bass, you know how to play electric bass. They're
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
much the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially like for the kind of music that you're describing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just think from a brand perspective, which again, a manager understand.
Oh, yeah. For
Every
sure.
time Greg says that, he gestures to Mark.
That's right, our manager. Samus in like a cool metal spacesuit with a mask on as our like silent, cool bassist. What a statement.
Yeah,
what a brand.
that's rad.
What a cool image.
It's kind of borrowing like a little Daft Punk imagery.
It's a little Daft Punk. It's a little like, if I'm going the new metal route, a little Power Man 5000 or
Yes.
Rob Zombie.
Totally.
The sort of space age kitsch of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a little bit of like no, that's cool. Also, just like the mystique of the lady bassist.
Yeah,
Always a cool thing on
it is
stage.
a cool thing on stage.
Oh, I like to imagine her like playing her bass next to Jigglypuff. It's a good
Oh, yeah.
picture.
Yeah,
oh
it
yeah,
is.
and then KK Slider, of course,
That's
doing his thing.
very
Mhm.
cool. Do you have to worry about the band members falling asleep?
I feel like if Jigglypuff can control it,
Yeah.
it's for everyone, right?
Right. Yeah,
Or
probably.
you just mean in general, like if they get bored during a song?
I do think that's a general worry. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's
as a
just a thing.
manager, speaking as a manager,
Right.
that's a general
I mean,
worry.
John Lennon did famously stay in bed a lot.
There
yeah,
you go.
Gigas.
Yeah.
Does
go
Gigas
on.
have a Yoko?
Does Gigas have a Yoko?
And that's a sentence that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, does Gigas have a Yoko? Maybe that'll be my 5th member. I haven't decided
You
yet.
do need a Yoko.
Yeah, hasn't crossed my mind yet.
So that's 2 and 3 of my band.
Very good, which leads now to my 3. And well, the Groovy Longlegs does have like some sort of like bass abilities. It's kind of rudimentary, mostly just using it as my like drum machine, right? My biological drum machine. So I'm also going to pull my low end at this point. And because bass players are so few and far between within the Nintendo universe, and because I'm going for something a little bit more on the like esoteric, like acoustic angle with Cass as my Andrew Bird like troubadour lead singer, my bass is going to be a Barry sax. Tiny Kong playing the Barry sax is going to be playing my bass lines.
Patrick, just look at my number 3 backup, see what it says.
It says Tiny Kong Barry sax.
Yup. We're the
it's-
same person.
We have some similar musical taste. That's true. You know, when I see Paul F. Tompkins do a Varietopia, he does not. He plays with a full band, lots of brass in it. No bass player though. Instead, he's got a dude on tuba,
Oh, cool.
and it's hot as heck.
Is it my friend Ibanda?
I don't know.
Shout out Ibanda.
Shout out Ibanda if it is, and if it's not.
Hey, shout
Either-
out anyway, Ibanda. I miss you. I haven't seen you in a while.
But yeah, so that's my move. Is that I want a little monkey on Barry sax.
I really like this for Tiny Kong. I feel like this is like called up to the big league.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, and it's also there's always that thing of like like Tiny Kong goes through this like weird design change from Donkey Kong 64 to when does she appear next in that like the like early 2000s like hot girl. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about. I actually am not sure. Maybe in like one of the like King of Swing games or something.
Yeah, so it's not that it's pre that transformation.
Okay.
When she's wearing like overalls and is like like an Avril Lavigne type almost.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, that's Tiny Kong on Barry sax.
I think that's such a smart play for your sort of freak folk
Yeah.
alt aesthetic
Yes,
sound.
thank you.
I think that will really it makes it feel troubadour was the word you used. It makes it feel like I'm hearing like an ancient story or folk tale or something.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
Almost a little what's his name? The Mark, we're gonna move on to you, and I'm gonna remember the
Johnny
name of the group.
Carson.
Yeah, it's not Johnny Carson.
Joe Biden.
It's not Joe Biden. Oh, you know what? It was Joe Biden. I was thinking of Joe Biden.
Come on, man.
Mark,
All right.
your third and fourth choices.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. All right. So just a reminder, I'm building a Beatles-esque band, right? Capitalize on the British invasion.
right?
So far, I have Gigas is my
Uh-huh.
John Lennon. I have
An American nightmare horror.
I have Donkey Kong as my Ringo.
Okay.
Now, of course, you need a George Harrison.
You
George
do.
Harrison, right?
Mhm.
A little like quieter, a little more introspective, spiritual, with like a unique musical style. And so I'm going with Chic from The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
I like this
on the
pick.
ocarina.
On the ocarina. Yeah, that's right.
So your band
Yeah. No, go
has
ahead.
bonkers,
Yes.
an ocarina,
Uh-huh.
and a weirdo who makes people hallucinate.
Yeah, but can make it sound like anything.
Just like the Beatles.
Just
Yeah, it's Beatles-esque. We're doing better than the Beatles.
Right, right.
Where I'm capitalizing
Uh-huh.
on Beatlemania
Right.
I see.
to build something better
I
Right.
see.
Sure.
for the teens.
And I'm sorry, I think I blacked out. Who is this your analog for?
George Harrison.
For George Harrison. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see Chic as George Harrison for
Yeah,
sure.
I get that. Like, there's like a lone adventurer quality, a like off on their own. Like the rest of the tightly knit band is like doing the thing they always do. That this little bit of machinery loops around and comes back with something different.
Yeah, exactly. And look, I know as I'm putting this band together, Gigas is an unconventional choice.
Yeah.
But like I think with that from our minds, I think Chic is a pretty good George analog. And I think that Donkey Kong is a pretty good Ringo analog. And I think the kids are going to eat this crap up. So,
Wow.
yeah.
The use of the word crap is really telling as to your sort of goal with this project.
All right. So that's my third pick.
And then you get 4.
I get
Yes.
I get the fourth pick.
And
so
this is where you recruit Paul McCartney.
well. So here's my problem. I have backups for all of them except for Paul. And Paul was going to be Cass.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, and so now I'm not really sure what to do for Paul McCartney, except maybe recruit Paul McCartney.
Can I pitch you just because I think it would be funny
Yeah.
if you picked
Now
John
remember,
Lennon.
this is a series. John Lennon.
John Lennon as your Paul
as
McCartney.
Paul McCartney.
You know who would love that is John Lennon.
Yes, he would.
He would really like to pretend to be Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney.
But would he clash with Gigas?
Right. Like,
Oh,
could
right.
he play the Paul role?
Right.
Like, could he really do that? And is Donkey Kong strong enough to like smooth over those ruffled feathers?
Oy.
It's a good question. I mean, what do you need to do to keep like Donkey Kong level enough to like deal with those kinds of enormous
Honestly,
egos?
give him a lot of bananas.
A lot of bananas.
Yeah.
That guy loves him.
So if you have a banana guy, I think you can work it out.
Or a horde.
Yeah, if you have a horde,
Yeah.
right? Or if he has access to his own horde,
Right.
right?
Constant access. Constant banana access at all times will be important. That'll
Is
be
that-
our writer.
Does that kind of like turn your band into Fleetwood Mac, where like
Oh, that's interesting.
instead of
Did I accidentally create Fleetwood Mac?
it happens to the best?
It
I
has.
mean,
Yeah.
honestly, if you're doing like if you're trying to do like a British invasion thing and you've ended up recruiting people who are going to be at each other's throats, you've maybe just made Oasis
Interesting.
Or eventually the Beatles.
or eventually the Beatles. That's true too.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. See, this to me, just like from my perspective, feels like a shoot.
And
for
what
the
is
mo-
your perspective again?
Yeah, my perspective again is that I am trying to make a Beatles-esque band, but do the Beatles better. I'm trying to capitalize on
And
the
you're
British
kind of like
invasion.
the manager.
Kind of like the manager.
I apologize. I apologize.
Yeah, I am building this band. Like this will be my band.
I apologize.
Yeah. So from my perspective, where I'm sitting, all these things that you guys are saying to me just sounds like shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you land among the stars.
Wow.
Right.
Like, am I making Fleetwood Mac? Am I making like Oasis? Who cares? Kids are gonna eat this crap up. So that's why my pick for Paul McCartney
is
I really don't know what to do. Do you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I do think it's very funny to pick John Lennon, but I'm just gonna pick Paul McCartney.
you gotta pick
Okay.
Paul. It makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense.
Yeah.
Mark is picking Paul McCartney to fill his Paul McCartney role.
And is he gonna play bass?
Yes.
Great.
Well, he can do.
He can play a lot of
He
instruments.
can play a lot of
He can do a
instruments, yeah.
lot.
Yeah, so you've got a versatile player on there, which is good because I would say that the rest of your band doesn't have like too many. Like the ocarina is a pretty limited instrument.
We're mostly a looks band. You know what I mean? You know what
yeah,
I mean?
Yeah.
do.
Okay.
It's
okay.
like I'm picturing us selling lots of merch.
Gotcha.
What if Paul tries to make it too musically adventurous or interesting? If he's like, "Oh, let's make a experimental."
Yeah, at that point,
This one's going to be 7 songs in one.
I mean, I'd have to put my foot down.
Right.
But at some point, you have to let Paul McCartney. Like, why recruit him onto my team if you don't
Right.
want Paul McCartney?
Oh, and that's a good exec. A lot of execs don't think like that, and I appreciate that.
yeah.
about
I mean,
you.
I'm good at what I do.
You are.
I will say, regardless of who else is on the band, the fact that you have Paul McCartney now makes me feel bad about my band.
Is just Paul McCartney better than both of our bands?
I mean, possibly. All right, that was your 4th pick?
That was my 4th pick.
All
yeah.
right. So now for my 4th pick. So I've got this groovy long legs. I've got Tiny Kong. I've got Cass. All musicians and musical beings that I think are interesting and like authentic and cool, but perhaps a little bit on the simple side, right? There's something very like folk about this, right? So I want to add a little bit of like elevated texture and musicality that will blow the whole thing wide open. I'm going to go to a haunted hotel and recruit Amadeus Wolfgeist, the classical pianist, a ghost boss of Luigi's Mansion 3.
That rules.
So he is classically trained in piano, and when things get like hard and hairy, he's going to inhabit the piano itself and smash it around on stage.
That's
So
pretty cool.
you know, it can be very like melodic and beautiful, but also if we need to rock out, he can invoke that as well.
I really feel like sonically I can hear your band.
Yep.
Like understand what that would sound like.
Even the classical influences. I
Yeah.
feel like Andrew Bird kind of has that vibe.
Yeah, Andrew Bird is sort of like the cornerstone here. And Bon Iver was the other thing that I was thinking of in invoking a
Also,
little
kind
bit.
of he flirts with electronic experimentation,
Right, which
too,
is
yeah.
where I think the the Groovy Longlegs will fit nicely in that group. And then I've got concertina, Barry sax, piano, and the Groovy Longlegs.
This is a cool band.
It's filled out pretty well. Greg, your fourth and no, yes, your
Yes,
fourth
fourth and
and
fifth.
fifth pick.
I round it out. I finish it out. So we've got our front woman, clean vocalist Jigglypuff. We've got our guitarist slash DJ slash rapper KK Slider. We've got Samus Aran on the bass. Let's fill out some of the mids with a keyboard player.
Yeah.
And I've been going back and forth on this. I'm gonna go with sort of a similarly maybe macabre kind of vibe as the Ghosty from Luigi's Mansion.
Yes.
Because I do want this band fundamentally to have kind of a dark, tension, sinister sort of energy, theatrical maybe, but still sort of like genuinely menacing. I believe in The Legend of Zelda, The Ocarina of Time. One Mr. Ganondorf
Oh,
plays the pipe organ,
This is great.
and it's sort of like he's really mad about it and working out his sort of like, I'm getting Ganondorf on the keys from
That's
my band.
awesome. That piece of music that he is playing to is in like wacky time signatures that
Mhm.
like shifts from like 9/16 to 11/16
Right.
and like it's like all over the place. So like you may have a little bit of like a prog rock guy
I think
on the organ.
it would be cool. There's a band I've been getting into lately called Sleep Token.
Mm.
That kind of their songs are sort of half pop metal and then half prog nonsense.
Yeah.
And I think this maybe introduces the realm of like the prog breakdown after
Yeah.
the hooks. Something for the kids, crap for the kids to eat up, and then real music for the real heads.
Right. No, I love that. Well, and also just like having a little bit of, especially in a keyboard player, someone who's going to like just like reach for something a little bit more sophisticated,
Yes.
without having to like be the main voice of the
Yes.
project. I feel like that's always a welcome bit of texture.
Especially in foil to Jigglypuff,
Right.
who again will just be singing the word Jigglypuff.
Which is adorable.
Jigglypuff.
Mhm.
So Ganondorf on the keys, really moody, really dark.
God, what a great pick.
He'll probably like be in the back on stage. Don't
Mhm.
look at me. That
Oh
kind of
yeah,
thing.
your band just seems so cool.
I love it. I love it. And we'll end with the drums.
Who you got on drums?
I have a few
Greg Smith.
choices. I feel like one of them is a cheat.
Is it Ringo Starr?
In this hard new metal band, just Ringo bobbing his head in the back.
I mean, there was a Metallica Guitar Hero. If you want to get Lars Ulrich,
was he a character in it?
I believe so. Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Diddy Kong on the drums.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Because he is cool.
Yep.
He wears
Yeah.
a hat. He's
Mhm.
young. He's exciting. He's like happy. I do think having a happy drummer is a
Yes,
very
huge.
taking a cue from Ringo, a very helpful thing to have. I believe in Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, you see him playing more of a kit situation rather than just bongos.
Okay, yeah.
But also, I think if, like Donkey, he's mostly known as a bongo player, I do kind of want to try to like train him to get on a double bass sort of blast beat kit.
Right.
Am I allowed to give him that sort of lesson?
I think so. I think you're allowed, especially if he's demonstrated aptitude for drums, which he
I think
definitely
he
has. Because the bongos for sure in Donkey Konga.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so what is his instrument in Donkey Kong 64? Do we know?
Oh, it might have been guitar.
Might
Or was
be
that Dixie?
So Dixie's not in 64.
Oh, okay.
But Dixie
I saw
does.
a picture of her playing guitar. In
She
something.
shreds a guitar in Donkey Kong Country 2.
That's it.
When she like beats a level or whatever, and Diddy puts on shades and puts a boombox up to his ear
That's pretty cool.
and dances around like that. So like,
That's the vibe I want
yeah,
as our drummer.
a cool guy, happy.
Cool guy, yeah, happy. Sort of
Energetic,
like, again, another nice foil for the darkness. So that's my new metal band. Jigglypuff,
Yeah.
KK Slider, Samus, Diddy Kong, Ganondorf.
Oh, that is so cool.
That's a cool band, Greg.
They're gonna play a lot of hits that like parents are gonna be like, are my kids allowed to listen to this? And the kids are like, you don't understand. And they'll buy the edited version from CDs where jigglies are replaced with weird sound effects on some of the words. That's my band.
I like that band. I like
Thank
that
you.
band a lot.
Parents will be worried about like their kids falling asleep.
Ooh, it's
What if-
just
what if they're
sleeping, Mom.
Yeah, but
it's
what
not
if
a
you're
big deal, Mom.
driving?
I'll listen to. I'll. Someone else will drive.
I'm not worried about you on the road. I'm worried about the other drivers. Okay, so that now falls to me to pick my final.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just to recap what I have so far because I'm gonna make a pick in real time here. I've got some.
I did that with my drummer as well.
So Cass is my front man on concertina and is singing. The Groovy Longlegs is providing beats. Tiny Kong is playing Barry sax as like sort of my bassist. And Amadeus Wolfgeist is playing piano / is a ghost
/ is a piano.
/ is the piano sometimes. I wonder if I need another singer to fill out this sound because so far it's just the one singer, right? In Cass.
Can the other? Oh, that's interesting. Because I feel like with your genre, you want harmonies.
I do want harmonies, yeah, and so that's kind of I don't have that right now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go for a lady singer.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, there's a big one.
what's that?
There's a big lady singer none of us have picked.
Well, there's Pauline.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna pick Pauline though. Because
Wow.
that almost feels a little bit too like big bandy, jazzy, and like you, I think I want something a little bit more ethereal, a little bit more dreamlike. I'm going to go with Princess Peach when she is turned into a mermaid in Princess Peach Showtime.
Oh.
Where she has this magical singing ability to command fishes around the levels and open up different areas. So it is a commanding voice, but it is still like kind of soft and gentle and like
of the
aerial,
earth, which I like.
Yes.
I've not played Princess Peach Showtime. What does she sort of sound like when she sings?
She sounds like Ariel from The Little Mermaid.
But is it like
Yeah, it's
or
like
does she
that.
sing lyrics?
No, she does not sing.
Oh,
lyrics.
yeah. Yeah.
Just
I love
yeah,
that.
Yeah. So it may be a lot of like that sort of stuff, but that's that's good for backing vocals.
Well, and I think she could probably sing lyrics. I
she
think
could
she's
probably sing lyrics. Yeah.
using the ahs to command fish.
Because Peach in other games does say words.
Yeah.
Yes.
She doesn't just go like,
Right.
Right.
She does. Yeah, you're right. So she does say words. She must be able to sing those
Yes.
words.
Because I think like that is a distinction or something to think about if someone were to pick a Link or something like that.
Right.
They probably
Right.
couldn't sing.
Right.
Or
'Cause
like KK Slider can just do moat meet moat.
Mom, and whistle and howl.
True.
Oh. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Mermaid Peach. Added bonus, cool costume.
Yeah, very
yeah,
cool.
that's true.
She's wearing a mermaid tail.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Your band is gonna have like a dedicated fan base.
Oh yeah, for
Yes.
sure.
They're gonna follow them from show to show and be kind of like dirty, cool camper.
Right. And they're
sorta.
gonna play a lot of colleges.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're gonna
Um,
kill in Madison, Wisconsin.
They're gonna kill in Madison. Yeah, so just to recap, it is Cass, Groovy Longlegs, Tiny Kong, Amadeus Wolfgeist, and Mermaid Peach. Mark,
All right.
do we have to name these bands?
I've been thinking about that and
Okay.
I'm struggling.
Okay. maybe we don't have to.
All right. Well, I'm constructing a Beatles beater, right? So
Right.
I like how you got it concise. Beatles beater.
I've for the kids. So I've got
Don't eat this crap up.
my John. I've got my Paul.
He's the manager.
I've got my George. I got my Ringo. So I got my 4. I got my solid 4, right?
Yeah.
But everybody listens to the Beatles and is like, oh, this could use one more sound.
You're so right.
Yeah.
This could use a little bit more, just like giving it to me. So that's why I chose.
Can we recap musically what your band is capable
Yeah,
of doing?
yeah, for sure.
I'm so excited.
So Donkey Kong is primarily known for the bongos,
Right.
But or double bongos because he has the reach.
Right.
But presumably could be taught other instruments. But if it's just bongos, I'm fine
Other
with that.
instruments like drum set, right, is what
In the percussion family.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the percussion
okay.
family.
You mentioned a
yeah.
maraca, I remember.
Yeah, like maraca, tambourine. He can kind of do it all.
cowbell.
Yeah,
Mhm,
put it in
triangle.
his hand, he can shake it. Chic,
right, on the ocarina.
yeah, on the ocarina. You have Paul McCartney.
Right.
Can
That's
do
right.
it all.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney is in
Yeah,
your band.
member of the Beatles,
Yeah.
Paul McCartney.
Yeah,
Every time I try to like make a snide little comment now about the band, I have to remember Paul McCartney's in it.
yeah, he chose to join, so it can't be that crappy, can it? And
But
then
again, you don't care if it is.
I mean, as long as it sells in Peoria. And
I
then,
do also, sorry to keep interrupting
No,
you.
no, it's
but
fine.
I really like that you're going to try to use Paul McCartney to sell to kids.
Yeah,
He's like 100 years old.
he's got that sound the kids
Well, in
like.
the rock band,
That's true.
He's prime of his life.
Oh, that's a good point.
And he
So
can
it's
switch
young Paul
between
McCartney.
eras, too.
Oh yeah,
I like that.
he's a time traveler as well. So I have a lot of stuff going on in my band. It's
I
all
agree.
good though.
I agree.
It's all good.
A lot of stuff.
And then my John analog, of course, is Gigas
Yes.
from Earthbound, and that opens up so many possibilities.
Most of them evil.
Most of them questionable, but
At
could
least,
be used
at
in
least
good.
trending towards entropy.
Yeah, trending down. But you know, you have the lightness of Donkey Kong. You have Paul McCartney. I think
Sure.
there's some good collaboration.
Some positive.
Another
That could be
sentence that
happening
makes so
here.
much sense.
Yeah. So
Chic, kind of a bummer though, right? Like she's probably bringing the vibe
I
down.
think she's just quiet.
Okay. All
She's
right.
cool. She
yeah,
is cool.
She is
she's
cool.
cool. She's just a little removed from it.
Right.
You know what I mean? She
But
doesn't
in a
really get
way,
into the
that
drama.
like George, I'm like, oh, what's she thinking?
Yeah. Oh, totally.
I gotta know.
Yeah. When she puts a song on the album,
You're
Right.
like,
it's
ooh.
notable.
Right.
You're like, yeah, this is gonna be great. So that's why. So I have all that, and that's all great.
Yes, I agree.
But you need a little something more. You got to bring it. You got to bring it up. You need to make sure that it's modern, right?
Yeah, you do.
That's so true.
You really got to make sure it's modern for the kids.
You need the beeps and boops, and that's
Right.
why you're bringing Rob the Robot.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I hesitate to even ask.
I'm open to
Okay.
feedback. I said
I'm
this.
all in.
Have
I
we
love
seen-
it.
Greg got no questions. Rob the Robot, have we seen him perform any music in any context?
I mean, I think in Super Smash Brothers, he makes beeps and boops. And so he himself
Sure.
is like an instrument. I don't know that he needs to play anything any more than
You just
like
go. What, can you approximate a Rob beep or boop?
yeah, beep,
He just sounds like a human man saying beep.
boop.
I guess you did say approximate.
Can you
this is
perfectly?
close to it.
Can you perfectly imitate? Please?
Yeah, he's going like meh, meh.
And he does make these sounds? You're sure of
in
this?
Smash Brothers, yeah.
Okay.
I'm surprised that the soundscape isn't flooding back to you as I'm doing this.
Can I tell you what I'm envisioning with Rob the Robot?
Yeah.
So, you know, when you play Gyromite, he's got these little like discs that like these little tops that he
Sure,
spins
yeah.
and he places them on the buttons to, you know, open gates for you to progress through.
Yeah.
Why can't those discs be records
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
that he could be like your DJ?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he can still beep and boop.
Of
Nobody's
course,
saying he
of
can't,
course.
right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he can beep him.
But he can also, yeah, like scratch a record if he wants to. Okay. Anyways, that's my band.
And he can like play it really fast with
Yes.
the gyroscope.
Yeah.
Yeah, then that's cool.
Which
Yeah.
is pretty cool.
Uh-huh. He can play records backwards.
Ooh,
So
like
that
the
way-
Beatles.
so like,
Spooky.
uh-huh.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Can he do the thing where, you know, there are those cuts of the B movie, but every time they say the word B, it speeds up
Yeah, he
by
could
50%?
do that.
He
I
can
love
do that.
those. I know what you're talking about, and I love those.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very
He
cool.
could do that. He's versatile. I mean, basically, versatility is the name of the game with my band.
Yeah.
You have
Right.
Gigas, who can do anything. You have Rob the Robot, who we're basically saying can do anything.
Well, I don't know if we're saying
And then-
he can beep and boop and do things with vinyl.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Speed
all
them
we're
up,
saying.
slow them down, play
You
them
got Paul
backwards.
McCartney that can do basically
Paul McCartney
anything.
can basically
He
do
can-
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have Paul McCartney.
So
It's really tough. Like
it's a Beatles beater.
we're not competing our bands against each other, but if we were, I would really be afraid of this Paul McCartney band.
If all three were at Coachella playing at the same time,
Right. Who you going to
I'm
see?
like, I don't know, man.
Coachella, I'm going to see your band.
Oh, thank you. Coachella, I'm going to see Marks just because I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's a great point.
Huh? And Paul McCartney? Huh?
Yeah, you
What?
got people. You got people talking about us.
Bonner, I'm seeing Patrick's band.
Yeah, that's a perfect
Or
environment.
Burning Man, I'm
Yep.
seeing Patrick's band.
I like any club show, I would go to see your band.
Club show?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Club feels more like yours to me.
Interesting.
I want my band kind of playing arenas.
right. Well,
Yeah.
and it's good for that too. But yeah. I mean, I'm thinking like rock clubs.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Although, again, I think of the Beatles when I think of like dingy rock clubs in,
I feel-
in Hamburg.
I feel like your band, and I mean this in a good way, will someday compose a Broadway musical.
Yes,
Yes,
they will.
100% they will.
Yeah.
And it'll be like about like an amoeba
Right.
who like moves.
Who like looks to the stars and says,
Yeah.
"Why not me?"
Why
Right,
can't I be multiple cells?
Yes.
Right, and like Julie Taymor is directing it.
Yeah, and
Ooh,
like the
I like
amoebas ooze into the crowd.
Yeah.
And like Jonathan Groff plays the amoeba and he's spitting on everybody.
Okay, I think the tone of it changed a little bit there.
What do you mean?
Does anyone have any like honorable mentions or like characters that they maybe like wanted to incorporate but didn't?
Yeah,
Or-
I'll call out. There's a few. Marth was a choice for a clean vocalist. He sings
Oh,
in a Fire
yeah.
Emblem game with a very like Saurian chorus kind of vibe. Richter from Castlevania plays guitar at one point
Oh,
in
that's
something I saw,
cool.
which is cool. Cranky Kong on bass is really cool.
Oh, that would be
He
fun.
plays bass in Tropical Freeze.
See, I was thinking about Cranky Kong to be a DJ from the beginning of Donkey Kong 64
yeah.
for the DK rap.
That's pretty
And
cool.
that he could also crank that like music box too, if
Yeah.
needed.
Right. Yeah, I feel like both of your bands, like, if you wanted to have a really old Kong, it would be cool.
It would be
right? If you
cool.
just have like
Your
the
band
one
more, I
like
think.
Yeah,
really
my-
old.
Yes,
that's working like the
yes.
Victrola.
Yeah,
Your band doesn't need a Victrola.
Here's the thing. That's almost one step too close to a Mumford and Sons. Do you know what I mean?
I
do.
do know. I do know. I do.
I also had both Eustace and Beats from the Stable Trotters side quest from Tears of the Kingdom. That's the band that you like put together that plays at all of the stables. Eustace is the horn player because I thought like that would be a fun texture to like, especially like teamed up with Tiny Kong. And then Beats is the drummer because I was just like, do I need like a real drummer? And then I landed on the Groovy Long Legs. And then, yeah, I mean, I had all of the Splatoon idols as like possibles too.
Oh,
I
sure,
did as well.
yeah.
I saw one playing a guitar online. I
That's
was like,
cool.
That's pretty cool.
That's really cool. Mark, did you have any others that?
I had, for Ringo, I had Luigi. I
Yeah.
thought maybe maybe in a Mario Party he's played the drums before or
a
something.
lot
I
of
don't really
he's
know.
pretty anxious though, Luigi.
Yeah, that's true.
That might exacerbate some of the rather than cool. Some
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
tensions.
That's true. I also had Big Man from Splatoon 3. He's more of a vocalist, I'm assuming, but
he's the
he has the
manta ray one of
attitude.
them.
That's
yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And then for like the George, like I ended up going with Sheik, but I also had Fee from
Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword, who is
Yeah, I
like, the
see that.
and more I think it's more like the kind of like reserve, just like so different from the other members of the band, just feels like kind of like cooler in both meanings of the word.
Those are all harder to justify as musicians, though, I think.
Well, Fee spends a fair amount of time singing. Like any time that you like like encounter or like get a new piece of the sword or whatever it is that you're doing, she like has a whole song to go along with it.
Okay. I guess I do remember her like dancing around, like kind of
Yeah.
flying around. That's pretty good. No one recruited Link here.
Yeah,
Even
but
though-
you had a different ocarina player though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Link, for me, I'm like, I don't necessarily need just an ocarina or a flute. I feel like that's what he plays.
Well, it depends on what
game?
Yeah. The thing is, if you recruit like Link from Majora's Mask, then he could put on the Deku mask and then be playing this like
horn
5
thing,
trumpet
yeah.
thing.
Oh, that's
or-
pretty cool.
And then like switch over to the Goron and he can drum and
That's pretty cool.
I think Link's problem is that he's too much of a nerd. Like, I don't really know that it would be a very specific band that would need Link in it. I
why are
think.
you looking at me when you say that?
We're backing him into a corner.
Well, I like all of our bands.
Me too.
And I think that's all very cool. All right, let's close this segment out. Greg Smith, thank you so much for joining us on this
thank you
exercise.
so much. This was so fun.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a blast and a delight and so much fun.
People should check out Tabletop Tunes. Is there anything else you would like to plug on our way out here, Greg?
Oh, give me a follow on Instagram and TikTok and Blue Sky at Smith L. Greg. You'll see some funny musical videos if you like me being silly and musical.
And you're good at both of those things.
Oh, thank you so much.
That's going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. Thank you so much to our 60-minute patrons, Connor McKay, Patrice Millette, Kyle Seaborn, Drew Mackey, and James Haig. We appreciate you. We appreciate everyone who is listening or interacting with us in any way. If you're not in the Discord, email us. We'll send you an invitation. Anthony DeLuca made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Ellers saying thank you for listening.